Good afternoon, Professor and classmate. My name is Anayansi Cordova, and today I have the pleasure to explain to you the slides 11, 12, 13, and giving to you a short conclusion about notion of the teaching methodology, blending learning. I am going to giving to you a little bit short introduction about the topic. I know my classmate gave you in the morning the presentation, but I think that's important to give to you this information. First, we have a many different kinds of topic of models, but we talk about the model of the enriched model and the other one. But in this case, this is a different approach and different way that people can be able to learn in a many ways. Sometimes we use the technology and the virtual classes or face to face. But this is dependent of the strategy or techniques the professor can be applied of the many different kind of institutes or organizations. But now, this presentation will discuss the theoretical overview of important concepts of the notion of the English teaching methodology as a methodology that uses technology and traditional approaches in English teaching. We will describe the different models and offer of blending learning as well as the advantages and disadvantages that this methodology offers. What is the methodology offer? Um, Methodology offer many different kinds of resources about teaching English or teaching different subjects. Enriched visual model. A rich visual blended learning model is very similar to the robust model with online learning as a core component. This model is becoming increasingly popular in this age of the telecommunications. However, unlike the flexible model, students must complete a scheduled, structured, learn classes in the physical and virtual classroom. This model enriches the distance learning experiences by providing student-teacher interaction through an online support. Advantages of the blended learning. High-tech learning methods use a variety of technology to help students learn in the classroom. First, improve knowledge representation. Second, students take part actively. Third, the development of collaboration ability. Blended learning the best of the both worlds. Blended learning combines modern learning technology and with the traditional learning methods. Like any learning methods and blended learning come with unique benefits and drawbacks that are important to consider when adopting a blended learning approach. First advantage. Well suited for large groups. The first advantage is that blended learning helps you reach a larger audience in a short time. Why? Because contrary to the traditional methods, blended learning doesn't require the trainer to be present all the time. Traditional classroom settings are constrained to the limited number of the people at the same time. For some training topics, it is important to transition to online training completely. For instance, some training requires practical for hands-on activity. In that case, you can publish some of the training content in the learning manager system. This will help you scale the theoretical part of your training while your students are busy learning by themselves. You can dedicate yourself to other tasks, including in the personal training section. Better preparation and feedback. Another important benefit is the blended learning made traditional training more valuable. When people can complete assessment independently, they can come to class with the same knowledge level. There is more time for useful discussion and the practical and they practice what they have to learn, while they complete the online material and assignments on their own. You can do less work and relax. It's also possible to assist a learner who requires more information, which is not one of the main benefits of blended learning. You can complete the feedback, um, look, look when you're adjust your training based on the first training session results. Creative for the non-technological fans. Some people in education sector are not a big fan of technology, even though they recognize its benefits. Also, some students may not like it either, mostly when they are already used to face-to-face training. And but the teenager and some another kind of person like to use the virtual models and blending learning because this method giving us the opportunity to learn um, in many different times and giving us the option to have to learn using the technology and to develop over tasks when we have this time. Um, Continue with another advantage, and this reduce the cost. Blended learning helps you cost is required fewer classroom and training centers, fewer instruction, less community in time, and less money is spent all around. And finally, um, this kind of training online helps the people and students to learn more about the differences and the methods and strategies they can use to improve and develop their knowledge. And learning many different things using blending learning is good because help us with using the technology and online and learn many different things like traditional methods, just is the virtual method not face to face, but we can mix both things. Disadvantages. High-tech learning methods using a variety of technology to help the student learn in the classroom. Distraction from the schoolwork could reduce the number of the student to the student group. Lesson planning is time consuming and expensive. It's hard to disagree that there is a significant enough of the work involved in that early stage of the blended learning. When you set everything up, it's not easy to switch to a new method if you are already accustomed to the traditional approach. You may wonder how to balance face-to-face training with only training. This can take a while to reach to the benefits of the learning approach. 1. Lack of motivation. Another disadvantage is that, depending on how the motivation of your participants, not every blending learning model is fitted to the every person, task, subject, organization. In that way, you consider children's reading level when choosing book, when then you should consider which approach will work best for your student and your or teachers. Students who are used to learning to learn um, with her hands may also dislike sitting in front of the screen to the long. As you can imagine, it is essential to consider distance where you prefer the learning method and material before. That is important the professor have the planning or the blended learning have the context of planning that gave the participant or the student to have the opportunity to choose what they want to learn. And basic technology knowledge, the participant must have the basic knowledge of technology to take the lesson and complete assessment online. And a, pla- a, plug, plug, Credibility, the less credibility for problems, because plagiarism, plagiarism. This is another problem. It's the prevent. We need to prevent the plagiarism. You can use checkers sometimes, random some questions. Um, and the end is the lesson plan is the time consuming. It's very difficult for the student. The expensive is another disadvantage for the student and teacher. And distraction for schoolwork too, because this is the way when sometimes the person will be or the student will be busy on distraction with the phone things, and they don't have this motivation to continue on start taking the class or taking the by internet. Finally, I want to give into you the conclusion about this blending learning. Just choosing the right methods and strategies for the right curriculum is very important for both teacher and student. Why lectures are important to cover important basics. It is impossible to learn to drive from theory alone. And teaching methods are only one of the main components that are interact and intertwine in the teaching and learning activities. These include teaching involvement, physical and psychological conditions of the class, student engage, a caregiver, and for support, and the relationship between the curriculum and the student interact and meet. And next, we are going to continue with giving to you a little bit reference about these are reference. And this reference is about all the information that I found when I was surfing by the internet to get this information. And the reference about the topic is blended learning. This is traditional method and the online method. And that's all. Thank you very much for listening to me, and thanks.